Are you ready to house hunt? It's a jungle out there. You better be prepared for mounds of paperwork, stampedes of buyers all competing for the same digs, and tons of other obstacles before you get your hands on those keys. Here's some tips for you. First things first, get a buyer's agent. I cannot stress this enough. Let me give you an example. If you were going through a divorce, would you want to use the same attorney as your spouse? Probably not. Same thing in a purchase of a home. You need your own representation. So first things first, hire a buyer's agent. I know a good one. Actually, I know the best one. What is your buyer's agent's job? A lot of people think that a buyer's agent just simply opens doors and writes contracts, when actually we are your representation and your protection throughout the transaction. Yes, we're going to help you find the property, but our biggest job comes through negotiations and maneuvering through the transaction. Getting you to the end to get you those keys requires a little bit of skill. Actually, it requires a lot of bit of skill. Yeah, a lot of it. We're going to negotiate through the process. We're going to be dealing with title companies, inspectors, appraisers, the other agent, and a lot of other vendors in the process, most likely. But that comes with the territory, right? Could you imagine trying to navigate all of that on your own? No, probably don't want to try that. And then hiring the listing agent to be your agent seems a little bit of a conflict of interest. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, you would agree. Think about it. A buyer's agent is going to be legally bound to that particular buyer, where a listing agent has a fiduciary duty to the seller. Doesn't sound like a very fair playing ground, does it? No. Let's get back to it. A buyer's agent is going to represent you solely through the transaction. So your best interest is then their best interest. They're going to negotiate in your behalf and protect you throughout the transaction. They're going to make sure things are done on time and that they negotiate in your behalf. How do you go about hiring a buyer's agent? Well, you should be interviewing them. Here's a few questions that I find are, to me, the best ones to ask. Some agents don't like this question, but I kind of feel like it's necessary, especially in today's market. So question number one, how long have you been selling real estate? And how many buyers have you represented? The reason why I like to ask this question, and I like being asked this question, is because let's face it, negotiation takes skill and it takes a lot of practice. A newer agent may or may not have the expertise that you need to compete in a really heavy buyer's market that happens to be a seller's market. And when I say heavy buyer's market, what I mean is you are going to be competing in a seller's market. You need an agent that has the skill, the knowledge, and the expertise to best position you to win the house. So asking someone how long they've been in real estate and how many buyers that they may or may not have represented, to me is an important question, and it should be asked. Another question a lot of agents hate being asked, but I think it's important. Are you a part-time or full-time agent? Let's also face it, if you're part-time, how much real experience are you gonna have in this market? You want a full-time buyer's agent. That is going to be imperative in a market like this one. Are you from the area? And if you're not from the area, how long have you lived in the area? Anybody can get online and find numbers and write a contract. They don't even have to live in the area to do those things. But don't you feel like it's important that your representative understands the neighborhood that you're buying in, understands the community that you're buying in, and all of the little things like your amenities, where's the grocery store, who are the doctors in town? Somebody that's not from there, somebody that doesn't live there, somebody that doesn't have a lot of experience in those communities is probably not going to be able to give you a proper passport into the area. So another question that I feel like is important: how long have you been here? And another one, what's your schedule and your availability? Listen, I believe this to be true. If an agent has all of the time, all of the availability, might not be an agent you want to be working with. There's probably a reason why they're not selling real estate. Hate to say it, but it's kind of a true story. Experience. I kind of feel like this is important, and sometimes people don't pick up on it, but I do. It's like picking a contractor of sorts. If they have a really open schedule, you kind of have to wonder why, especially in this market. So picking an agent, if they're just completely wide open, they have every morning, afternoon, and evening to give you, might not be an agent you want to work with. Go check those Google reviews. Regardless, picking an agent is imperative, and picking the right one is ultra imperative. If you're interested in getting out in that jungle of buyers and sellers mess, we'd love to talk to you. Hit us up and let's get a buyer's consultation on the books. See you guys. Love ya.